Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're really digging into the global sports technology market.
Yeah, we've got this pretty comprehensive 2025 report. It's packed with data, forecasts.
Right. So our mission, basically, is to pull out the key takeaways for you, pinpoint where the growth is happening in this, really fast-moving area.
Exactly. It's about understanding what's changing, how sports are played, how they're watched, even how they make money. This report gives a great snapshot.
And the first thing that really struck me is just the scale. We're talking big numbers even now, right?
Yeah.
And the growth forecast is, well, pretty staggering.
Oh, absolutely. It's not some small corner of the tech world anymore. It's mainstream.
So let's jump right in. What's the global market size figure for 2025, according to the report?
Okay, so for 2025, it's pegged at USD 22,995.62 million.
$23 billion, roughly. That's significant.
It's a very solid base.
But it's the future projection that's really eye-opening. You said staggering, and I think that fits.
It really does. The forecast sees it hitting USD 117,373.1837 million by 2033.
Wow. Okay. Let that sink in. From 23 billion to over 117 billion in just 8 years. What's fueling that kind of explosive growth?
A huge part of it, and the report really emphasizes this, is the growing demand for data-driven performance analytics.
Right. Makes sense.
I mean, think about elite sports. The margins are incredibly fine. So teams, athletes, coaches, even fans, they're all looking for that edge, and data provides it. Deeper insights are gold.
Moving past just intuition, right, towards something measurable. Optimize training, find those tiny advantages. Okay, so that's the why. Let's look at the where. How does this break down globally right now in 2025?
Well, North America is the biggest player currently, holding over 40% of the revenue.
Okay.
That translates to USD 8,508.3794 billion in 2025. And their growth rate, the CAGR, is projected at a strong 20.9% through to 2033.
And within North America, is it mostly the U.S.?
Primarily the U.S., yeah. It's over 6.7 billion on its own. But Canada and then Mexico are contributing significantly too, with CAGR slightly above the U.S., actually. Around 21.7% for Canada, 21.4% for Mexico.
Interesting. So North America is the current leader. What about Europe? Second biggest.
That's right. Europe holds the second spot, over 30% of the market.
Okay.
Their 2025 market size is USD 6,668.7298 billion, and their projected CAGR is actually a little higher than North America's at 21.5%.
So still very strong growth there, too, across the board in Europe.
Yeah, pretty widespread. The UK, Germany, France, Italy, Russia, Spain, even the Nordics like Sweden and Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg, they're all showing robust growth, generally around that 22% CGR mark.
So the established sports markets are definitely investing heavily, but you often hear Asia-Pacific, APAC is where the really explosive growth is happening. Does the report back that up?
It absolutely does. That's a key finding. Well, APAC's current share is smaller, around 23%, with a market size of USD 5,518.9488 billion in 2025. Their projected CAGR is a massive 25.7%.
Wow, 25.7%. That's noticeably higher than North America or Europe. That makes it the fastest growing region then.
By a clear margin, yes.
Which countries are leading that charge in APAC?
Well, China is the largest market there, followed by Japan and South Korea, all showing strong growth around 24-25%.
Right.
But India is the real standout in terms of growth rate. Its CAGR is projected at a remarkable 27.6%.
27.6%. That's huge.
It is. And you also see really strong numbers from Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia as a whole, mostly in the 25-26% range.
So that suggests a massive increase in, what, investment, adoption of new tech?
Likely both. More investment in sports infrastructure probably, and just a huge appetite for the latest tech, both for performance and, for the fan experience.
So while North America and Europe lead today, APAC is really the one to watch for future dominance, potentially.
The trajectory certainly suggests that.
What about the other regions? South America, Middle East, Africa? Smaller shares, I assume.
Yes, smaller shares, but still significant growth. South America is over 5% of the market, about 873 million USD, with a strong CAGR of 23.4%. Brazil and Argentina lead there.
Okay.
The Middle East is around 2%, nearly 920 million USD, but growing very fast at 24.1% CAGR. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are key drivers.
Right, lots of investment happening there.
Exactly. And Africa holds about 1%, around 506 million USD, with a CAGR of 22.9%. South Africa and Nigeria are the main markets mentioned.
It's fascinating how widespread this is, even if the market sizes vary dramatically.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Inside the tech itself, what specific type of technology is growing fastest?
The report specifically calls out analytics and statistics as the fastest growing segment.
Okay, that ties back directly to what you said earlier about data-driven insights being a primary driver.
Precisely. It's about the increasing sophistication of analysis, tracking player movement, predicting play success, injury likelihood, all that stuff.
It's not just collecting data anymore, it's about what you do with it, making it actionable.
Exactly, turning noise into signal.
So besides that demand for analytics, what are the other big forces pushing the whole market forward? The main drivers?
The report points to a few key things. One is definitely the rise of advanced sensors. Better sensors mean better data on athlete performance, and they're also crucial for injury prevention.
Right, measuring workload impacts.
Exactly. Second is using those data-driven insights to really optimize training regimens and in-game strategies, making things much more targeted.
Or personalized, I guess.
Yes. And third, things like AR and VR plus advanced streaming tech, they're really changing the fan experience, making it more immersive, more interactive.
So it's hitting performance, strategy, and how we watch sports. It's comprehensive.
Yeah.
But surely there are challenges, roadblocks.
Definitely. The report highlights two main restraints. First is cost. Implementing some of this high-end tech can be really expensive.
Yeah, I can see that being a barrier for smaller clubs or leagues.
It certainly can widen the gap. The second big one is data privacy.
Yes. Always a concern with tech.
Absolutely. When you're collecting detailed biometric data on athletes, or even tracking fan behavior, you run into significant privacy and security questions. How is that data used? Who owns it? How is it protected?
Critical questions. That could definitely slow down adoption if not handled correctly. Okay, looking forward then, what trends does the report see shaping the next few years?
Two big ones stand out. First, the continued rise of AI in analytics.
Makes sense, taking analysis to the next level.
Right. Think AI that doesn't just analyze the past, but predicts future outcomes, maybe even recommends real-time strategic adjustments during a game.
That's quite something. And the second trend?
Wearable technology. It's already big, but it's going to become even more sophisticated and integrated. Better real-time monitoring, more focus on injury prevention through wearables, and even using them to connect fans more deeply to the action.
AI and wearables. Seems like they're weaving themselves into the fabric of sport. The report mentions some key companies driving this.
It does give some examples. You've got specialists like Catapult Sports, they're big in wearables and analytics platforms.
Yep. Heard of them?
Hawkeye Innovations, famous for officiating tech, line calls, that sort of thing.
Right. Goal line tech.
Exactly. But also major established players are involved. Adidas, obviously, from the sportswear side. And tech giants like Infosys Limited and IBM Corporation.
Interesting. What are they doing?
While Infosys is working on things like AR to enhance watching live games, IBM partners with leagues to provide really deep data analytics. It shows how broad the interest is. Innovation and partnerships seem key.
It's a real mix of sports-native companies and big tech moving into the space.
Okay.
Let's break it down a bit more. How are different segments performing? Let's start with components, hardware versus software.
Okay, so on the component side, wearable devices and actual sports equipment, the hardware, currently dominate the market share. That's the tangible stuff athletes and teams use directly.
Makes sense.
But the software segment is growing very rapidly. This is the brains behind the operation, right? The software needed to analyze all the data from the wearables, power fan engagement apps, run AI and machine learning for insights, make operations more efficient.
So hardware leads now, but software is catching up fast because it unlocks the value.
Got it. What about specific sports? Are some adopting tech faster than others?
The report highlights baseball as a current leader in adoption. They've always been stats heavy, right?
Okay.
So they're using analytics heavily, wearables, lots of video analysis, even VRR for training.
Okay. But who's growing fastest?
Basketball is identified as the fastest growing sport for tech adoption.
Interesting. Why basketball?
It seems fueled by advanced analytics for player tracking and strategy, widespread use of wearables, and also pushing the boundaries on fan engagement with VRR broadcasts and things like that.
Dynamic sport, global appeal. Maybe lends itself well to that. Now, what about the application of the tech? Is it more about real-time use or long-term tracking? Active applications are currently dominant. That means tech used during training or games for immediate feedback, real-time data, personalized insights from wearables right there and then.
Okay.
But tracking applications, collecting data over time for performance monitoring, trend analysis, injury prevention patterns, that segment is also growing very quickly. Both immediate and long-term views are important.
Right, optimizing the now, but also managing the athlete over the season or career. And finally, the end users. Who's driving the demand?
Well, coaches are highlighted as key drivers. They need these tools for analysis, strategy, player development. They're hungry for the data.
Understandable.
However, the fastest growing end user segment is actually clubs and organizations as a whole.
So the entire entity.
Exactly. They're adopting tech broadly for players, yes, but also for fan engagement, stadium operations, ticketing, marketing.
Yeah.
Using wearables, analytics, VR, smart stadium tech, it's becoming integral to the whole business.
It really paints a picture of technology embedding itself everywhere in sports. Athlete, coach, club, fan.
Precisely. And as the tech gets better, cheaper, easier to use, this integration is only going to deepen and accelerate. It's transformative.
Well, this has been fascinating, a really insightful look into this sports tech market. So, just to quickly recap for everyone listening, we're seeing a market that's already substantial, nearly 23 billion USD in 2025.
And projected to explode to over 117 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of over 22%.
Driven largely by that insatiable need for data analytics, better wearables, and those richer, more immersive fan experiences.
And geographically, while North America leads now, keep a close eye on APAC. That's where the fastest growth is by far, though every region is showing strong upward trends.
It highlights just how global this shift is. Sports tech isn't some future dream. It's here now, changing how sports are played, managed, and enjoyed.
And the potential for future innovation as this growth continues feels almost limitless.
Which leads us perfectly to our final thought for you today. As this tech keeps advancing so rapidly, what new possibilities might emerge? What haven't we even thought of yet? How will training, competition, and the fan experience be further revolutionized? A really dynamic space, and the future is still being written. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Thank